Imagine doing $6 million of revenue with a small team of 5 people. I want you to meet Romain. He's building Arc Ads, a very competitive space that enables you to launch advertising quickly for your company. Now, he launched in January of 2024 and hit $5,000 of revenue extremely quickly. He'll show you his launch day formula. Next, he hit $1 million of revenue in just 4 months. He'll show you his $1 million framework. And lastly, he scaled to $6 million of revenue with a small team. He'll show you his tiny team tactics powered by an agent army of 100 agents. Watch until the end to get all of his data. Hey folks, my guest today is Romain Torres. He is building a new company on top of the great new world we're living in terms of AI called ArcAds.ai. Helps you create winning ads with AI actors. Romain, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Hey, listen, I don't want to bury the lead, and you're pretty public on this stuff, but the reason I had you on is because we're trying to focus on folks that are building tiny teams with giant revenue. Can you give us an update here in May of 2025? What's the team size today, and where are you guys at in terms of revenue?
Yeah, so I think 1 month ago we were at 5 million ARR. Now we are at six. The team is still 5 people, engineers, very talented engineers, and let's let's keep it growing.
That's great. So just to be clear, between April and May, we're recording this May 16th, 2025, you added about $1 million of new ARR in terms of growth and added 1 new team member. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm excited for this. You're gonna want to learn from this guy. Romain, let's not ignore your product though. You can't make all this work unless you have a great product. What's ArcAds do?
Great question. So basically, we help you create winning ads using AI actors. When you have a consumer product and you want to advertise it, one of the very common steps you have to go through is like basically record content with oftentimes UGC actors, so people who you pay to talk about your product. With our tool, you don't need to go through actual UGC actors. You can just like, type a script, select an actor from our library, generate a video. In a couple of minutes, you get a video ready to use.
Mm-hmm. And are most of the customers today, are they UGC brands selling a physical product?
Actually, not. We do have a lot of UGC of brands selling like physical products, but I would say most of our customers are actually selling digital products, so mobile apps, uh, even like lead generation, and everyone who has to like advertise to a very large number of people, Arcade is often a good solution for them.
Mm-hmm. And what's driven most of your growth to date in terms of go-to-market motion? Is there affiliates here? Is there an SEO strategy? Is it just you post great content on LinkedIn and Twitter? What is it?
So I think we have 3 big acquisition channels. The first one and the most important one is like actually paid ads. We use our own tool to promote our tool. So we do some paid ads on Meta to like basically show what the tool can do, and we like just prove it works by using it, right? That's number
Mm-hmm.
one. The second thing is content overall. So content means, as you said, like me creating content, people of the team creating content on LinkedIn, on Twitter. But
Mm-hmm.
it's also sometimes partnering with other people who create good content. So content creators who are already posting about ads, about like how to do marketing, or about AI in general. So that's the second one. And the third one that we are pushing more and more is like more, direct led sales led like approaches where we go find people who spend a lot of money in paid ads, and we try to get in touch with them and onboard them on the tool on higher subscriptions.
Mm-hmm. What tools are you using to go and try and find folks that are spending a lot on Meta or LinkedIn, et cetera? Is there, is it like an Ahrefs or SimilarWeb kind of tool or something else?
There is no like secret weapon. We built a lot of internal tools. So very often when you want to either work with influencers in the space or with like big companies in the space, like, it all comes down to identifying them, so sourcing these people on social media and then reaching out to them. And it turns out AI is very good at this kind of task because like sourcing is a lot of like repetitive work. So it's a lot about scrolling social media, selecting some people based on some criteria, adding them to a Google Sheet, and then reaching out. And AI is very good at that. So we built some internal AI agents to do that. And then once you have like sourced the right profiles, it comes down to how do I reach out to them in a natural way, have a conversation with them to convince them to start using our tool. And again,
Hmm.
this AI can do in a very good way now with LLMs. So we ended up like building a lot of internal AI agents to do exactly this.
I want to dive into how you're building those internal agents. You had a great post went out on April 9th, 2025 here of all the different tools you're sort of building. So I want to get into this in a second, how you're using Gumloop to automate this stuff. How do you decide what to automate? How are they working? How do you tweak them over time? Before we do that though, I don't want to gloss over those growth tactics you're using because they're obviously working really, really well. You've grown to 6 million bucks of revenue. And I meant to ask you too, when did you launch the tool so we get sort of a growth rate?
Yeah, it was January 2024 when we first onboarded one customer. It was very
Mm-hmm.
private at the time. It was like just a couple of friends in the industry. We were working in the mobile app industry. That's how we got the
Mm-hmm.
idea, by the way. We were running a seven figures mobile app and advertising it with like a lot of UGC creatives, and we realized, okay, like this is something that's gonna be completely changed with AI, and we decided, okay, this is a much bigger opportunity that this mobile app studio that we are working on. So we decided to sell it and to start like building this tool. So in January 2024, we started like onboarding a couple of customers, and step by step, it grew like very quickly. The first months we did a lot of like revenue like straight away. So we understood we had product market fit. Now it was about building a better product and building the growth strategy to reach out to more customers.
Do you remember how much you did in that first month? You said, quote, a lot of revenue.
Yeah, for the first month it was crazy. I think first week it was like 5K of monthly recurring revenue after like literally 1 week. So it's
That's
was something
amazing.
crazy like that. We had some like crazy moments when we had to shut down the product because we had like a barrel peak and stuff like that. But yeah, very early we understood that we had something.
What month did you break a million in ARR? Do you remember?
I think it was, yeah, the first time was in June, I think,
June 2024. That's awesome. And
2024. Yeah.
we shouldn't gloss over too how you built so much empathy for this space. You were running your own seven-figure mobile app and spending a bunch on ads. I'm trying to scroll back in your Twitter feed here to see if I can find that original mobile app. Did you ever post about it back here in any of these posts?
I didn't talk about it too much actually, because you know, when
Okay.
you have a consumer product, you don't get a lot of value by talking about it. You are targeting like basically the whole world. It was a weight loss app, so our target audience was not necessarily like tech Twitter. So all my time I was basically spending it in the ad accounts, like making better ads to promote our product better. And yeah, again, that's how we got the idea. But now, I did like talk a bit about it on Twitter, but very very rarely. And yeah, that's
Was
the
this
app.
it?
That's the one.
WeFast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the
Romain,
app.
how does a guy build a fasting app for women? How did you get how did you get into that?
No, that's a great question. So we were like basically we knew we wanted to do an app. We also knew we wanted to make something that would help people be a better version of themselves. We were with my when I say we, it's my co-founder Dylan and I. We were very into like health and wellness, and we then kind of opportunistically saw that the people who spend the most in this category are women, and there is no app specifically for them. And also there is a very specific pain point when you are in the weight loss industry, that which is like having a community of other people doing the same thing as you is very important
Hmm.
and it's very motivating. But as a woman, you don't necessarily want to post pictures of before afters in a group where you will find like men and women. So we thought, okay, what if we build obviously an app, but also a community that is very engaged, where people will feel safe to talk about their journey and like go into like the challenges that they face, etc. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's why we decided to build this app, and it was very community based, where there is a feed, like kind of a Facebook group integrated into the app. and people were very, very active about it and like sharing about a lot about their journey. That's how we came up with this idea. And yeah, again, very quickly we realized like one of the key factors of success to grow this app was basically being very good at paid marketing, and that's how we learned really like the tactics and the like all the genius it takes to scale an app with paid ads.
I love that. And how are you comfortable sharing how much you're spending on paid ads today to grow Arc ads? Like how much per month?
So yeah, this is kind of something we are gonna keep for ourselves right now. But what I can tell you is like Arcade is very profitable. We are like bootstrapped. Uh, we are like not like relying on VC money to fund the paid ads and the growth.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, we are trying to keep everything like super profitable.
That's awesome. Are you comfortable sharing like to what degree? Are we talking like 10% profit margins per month or like 60% profit margins per month?
Healthy profit margins, very healthy,
What'd you say?
very healthy. They are healthy
Very
profit
healthy.
margins.
You're not gonna let me pin you down to a percentage, huh?
Exactly. I know where you are getting.
Yeah, you know my mo. You know what my audience likes. They like data, but no, it's really impressive. Bootstrap to 500 grand a month in revenue, 6 million ARR, 6 FTEs, and again, one of the things you do really really well. You just touched on paid ads. We touched on content. I want to touch on this piece of content before we jump into how you're building these agents. What are we seeing here? Is this your workstation here?
Yeah, actually, that's kind of a weekend project. So basically, my thinking was simple when I did this, and I mean, I didn't end up spending too much time on it. Like, it was just something I do for fun. My core focus is just like focusing on the growing arcades. But I was thinking, okay, with arcades now, you can create a lot of these UGC ads, right, with AI, talking avatars, etc. What if instead of posting them on paid ads, which is what I really know how to do well, what if I started posting these on organic accounts? So basically TikTok accounts with no money behind it, no paid budget.
Are
And the
these brand
limitation,
accounts or are these individual influencers, like digital influencers, like
brand
not real
accounts,
people
yeah.
but characters?
Oh yeah, basically they are like characters you create, and
Okay.
you create them with using arcades, and you create a face for the account using the arcades character. So I was thinking, okay, what if I can start posting 10 times a day? Actually, I very quickly realized that if you post 10 times a day on the same account, TikTok will not push your content too much because they don't really want people to be posting that much. So you have to
Yep.
find creative ways to be posting more content on multiple accounts. So I ended up like thinking, what if I create multiple accounts and start posting on them? And then you'd have to do these like creative tactics where you have to have TikTok think you are a different person, and you have to use VPNs, multiple devices. And I was just like playing with this and experimenting with this. And I decided, okay, let's record a video to showcase what I'm like tinkering with. And let's see if I can like get some people interested in that and like to give me some tips on that. And I actually have a friend who is like very deep into this stuff. So I
Uh-huh.
didn't like end up spending too much time on it yet, but that's something I think very interesting to pursue. And I see a lot of arcades customers, usually teens, like 16 years old, and they go really deep into this strategy using arcade. And sometimes I'm really impressed by the results they are getting. Like you said, your audience likes numbers, but I see sometimes like teens create TikTok shop accounts, and they just like create a ton of content on TikTok using arcade's avatars to promote the supplements brands, and say sometimes like do really really good revenue, like sometimes like six
Uh-huh.
figures a month without any paid ads budget. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting like thing to pursue as well.
Yeah, the reality between what's real, what's fake, what's a real person in real life versus a digital character created with arc ads or these other tools. It's a really interesting world we live in. So, hey, let's wrap up here with the last couple of minutes with something I think is your genius, which is how you have such a tiny. You're doing 1 million in revenue per employee, right? This is super rare, very hard, bootstrapped, profitable, and I think a lot of that credit goes to what you posted here on April 9th, right? Which is your paid subscribers grow. Oh, by the way, can you share that? What do you got today in terms of paid customers? Are we still at about 3,000?
No, it's a little bit more. It's like closer to
Okay.
4,000 now. Yeah.
4,000 now, but you credit a lot of the success to like you built an AI growth engineer, like you built an AI ghostwriter, you built an AI intern. I mean, Romain, can you teach us here? Are you open to logging into like your Gumloop account and just maybe showing us how you build one of these things?
Yeah, let me try to find one of them that hold
Yeah,
be a
take
good
your time.
example for this.
Take your time because I'm putting you on the spot. I'll tee my audience up though while you do that, just so you guys can understand what I think the future is going. It's why I wanted to feature Romain is because you can see here, like when he posted this all the way back in February 18th, 2025, right? So a couple, 3-4 months ago, saying they bootstrap from 7 figures with paid ads only, and you can see part of the way that they're doing that is they've built these agents, right, to run these profitable playbooks over and over and over again. And so, like you see here, this AI agent replaces a 100K per year growth engineer, manages to create 100 videos per day. And you can see he's using this building, Arc Ads content combined with Gumloop, which I'm putting him on the spot here. We'll see if he can pull up an example on Gumloop and actually teach us live. Because Romain, I think what a lot of people think about is, they're not. You strike me as someone you're pretty darn technical, right? You know how to write code, and you're also a great growth engineer, which is a rare combination. But for people that are just great marketing and sales folks, how could they use Gumloop to run some of these AI agent playbooks?
Yeah, I will try to find a simple one to
Okay.
give you a good intro about what you can do, and then I will try to show a little bit of a more complex one. But by the way, Gamloop, the team is very good at teaching you how to use it. They have this AI agent inside Gamloop that you can chat to, and that you can like use to kind of understand better how to build them. And even the
Mm-hmm.
team, like you can reach out to them and um, just like ask them to guide you on how to do more complex workflows. So let me share my screen. Where is the, yeah, here you
It's right in
go,
Riverside. It
screen.
should be a little share. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I will try with a very simple one. So basically,
Okay.
Gumloop, what it does is it lets you connect together multiple nodes. A node is a block right here. So there is a Google Doc reader node, there is an input node, a combined text, multiple nodes like this, and they will let you create these workflows that will take some input that you give it and transform it using AI. So let's
Mm-hmm.
jump into this example. So right here, I created this Google Doc, a super simple Google Doc with some examples of very good tweets.
Can you
So
show
this
us?
one is, yeah. Let me share this one right
This
here.
is while he brings it up, guys. This is what I think a lot of people forget to do. You have to be a great. You have to be a historian almost. Like you have to document history, what does well, because that's how you're going to train anything like a Gumloop. But Romain, I think, is obviously very good at that. He describes it as a simple Google Doc, but you can see here. Walk us through it, Romain. What have you documented?
Yeah, 100%. AI, what you have to understand is AI is very good at duplicating stuff. I think it's gonna be good at creating very soon, but right now, it's like really world class at taking something that is good and doing something similar. So yeah, I made this list of very good Twitter posts, and actually this one was from the founder of Gumloop. And yeah, I saw all of these Twitter posts that I think were very good. So that there are 10 of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I added them to the Google Doc. And then
Yep.
let's go back to Gumloop. I told Gumloop, okay, this is my input, and the input is what I want to talk about. So this time I wanted to talk about a new feature for Arcads where you can control actors' emotion. Uh, in the post, we'll show sad and angry. And so those are the two inputs that I gave to the Gumloop flow. The thing I want to talk about and the list of inspiration posts from the Google Doc. And then Gumloop will combine them together. So it will like combine this text with the content of the Google Doc that it will read. And then it will send that to a prompt and ask ChatGPT, okay, I want you to ingest all these articles from the inspiration list and then carefully choose one article in the inspiration list, blah, blah, blah. And you basically need to do a similar post inspired from one of these articles. And I say something like, you'll be penalized if you don't select the one that is the most relevant. Um, and then it will like create a new Google Doc, and it will, if I run it, we can see if it gives us a good result. But basically, it will write in a new Google Doc something that is inspired from the top uh, post in this list, the most relevant one to this post I want to do right here, and it will like then put that into a new Google Doc. That makes
How
sense?
many of the yeah, it does. How many that was amazing. How many of these do you have built just on your Gumloop account? Are we talking like 5 or 500?
No, more than more like 100, maybe 100,
Wow. So how much of your day
something
is
like
like
that.
just coming in here and like clicking start on all these tasks? I imagine you just have like a bunch of computers up where it's like start, start, start. You get your breakfast, you hit start, 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 start. You come back an hour later and you just did like 30 days worth of work.
Actually, for a lot of them, I don't even need to click start. They are, for example, I have one that maybe I can show you, but it might be a bit too complex, but that basically will send me uh, messages in Slack every single day when my competitors run new ads that are worth replicating. So it will scrape
That's
the
amazing.
ads libraries and yeah, it will download the ads from Facebook ads of my competitors and it will like take the transcript of these ads, send it to ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT will rewrite the same ads but for ARC ads, and it will send me that in Slack with a message like, this ad was running on your competitor's account, and now you can replicate it and click this button to replicate it.
Wild. Can we look at the
And
output
here,
here?
yeah, let's have a look at this one. So yeah, inspired by post 7, and then it wrote this. This new market feature to control emotion is
Interesting.
insane. You pick and yeah, and I think I wake up every day with 5 fresh. This one is like a very good one. Emotional variation for
Hmm.
my ads,
Can I ask
and
you a
yeah,
question?
basically.
A lot of like purely trained copywriters, they know the first thing is the hook, then it's like the detail, the curiosity, then it's like the call to action at the end. You didn't feed in your input Google Doc a breakdown of like, here are 30 really good hooks, here are 30 really good like middle parts, and here are 30 really good call to actions. You just gave it like the whole chunk of post. Why'd you decide to train your sort of mini Gumloop model that way?
Yeah, it's actually a very good idea, and I might have to try this as well. My understanding of like where ChatGPT really excels is not when you give them like tips on like this is how you write a good hook and this is how you write a good body, but it's more like do this, but in this different way. And
Mm,
that's why like I like to give it just one example as an input and ask it to replicate it because I found it to be better just in certain ways. But yeah, definitely a good experiment to try. I actually have another one, a hook writer specifically. So actually, to your point, let me share this one instead. I have a
I
Twitter
just
hook
imagine
writer. So
this is the
yeah,
hook. This is the so you, like when you're scrolling Twitter in your free time or whatever, you're like bookmarking things. You're like, that's a good hook. That's a good hook. And then maybe once per week or month, you take all those good hooks and feed it into these systems so they become evergreen. And then that's basically you building your brain out.
exactly. That's exactly what I do. So I add them to a Notion. So I don't save them from Twitter, but it's the same. I copy paste them into a Notion document, a Notion database where I have all the hooks that I find good. And this one, what it does, basically, we won't go into the details, but it basically generates hooks IDs. So instead of just making one hook, it will take um, this Notion database and it will generate new hooks inspired from this database for the ID I want
Hmm.
to write about. So I input my ID here, and actually my team members also use it. And I tell how many hooks variations I want, and it will generate those for me.
It's wild. Amazing. Or, main, hey, I want to be respectful of your time. You got a company to build and you're growing quickly. I'm sure you're hiring, you're trying to optimize paid ads, all that jazz. Is there anything I should have asked you about, like that you know is critical to your growth so far that I just, you're going, man, Nathan just didn't ask about this? It's the key thing.
No, I think we went into the most important ones. Like it's basically about making very good ads for our ads because one, it showcases how good the product is to people who see the ads, but also it teaches us how we can make a better product by using the product ourselves. And yeah, it's all about like making good systems to come up with new ideas for ads and then making a good use of tools like Arcads and others to generate them quickly and make very good ads quickly. So that's the whole secret. And if you do that like very repeatedly for weeks and weeks and weeks, your ads performance tends to improve, and at the end, you tend to end up having very good results.
Guys, Romain Torres, 2021, 2022, 2023 is building WeFast apps. Said, oh my gosh, we're spending so much time on paid ads and creatives. I got to go build a tool for this. He launched Arc Ads in January of 2024. One customer, but went to like 5K of new MRR in the first 7 days. Broke $1 million of ARR in June of 2024. Now today, here in May 2025, 6 full-time employees, 6 million ARR, and well over 100 sort of agents built in Gumloop that help him operate his growth channels at a very high velocity. Paid ads on Meta, content, influencers, now exploring with direct sales. Romain, thank you for taking us to the top.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great.